Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today at Cindy Stamps for You. Today I'll be working on my fourth video of my holiday series of 6 videos. And today's project is a square box, and the final measurement is 3 inches by 3 inches by 1 inches deep. The other cards here were in my other previous videos, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so as I mentioned, the little gift box measures 3-inch square by 1 inch deep. I do have a little gift candy inside, but you could put whatever you want inside this. I'm not quite sure if a gift card fits in here. We are going to be making a gift card holder in another video though, but this is what I found to put into this box for right now. Start with 9x6 cardstock, and I'll be going over the scoring marks on the scoring tool. And then I'm using Poppy Parade in basic white, and that's just going to be the layering for the background. And then I have a scrap of basic white to create the wreath, and a scrap of Poppy Parade for the bow. And basically I'm just using 2 sets here. It's the Cottage Wreaths Stamp Set, so we're going to use the background along with the outline, and then the Merry Christmas for the center. And then I have the coordinating dies, Country Wreaths. We've used this in the previous videos. And after we get done punching the wreath, after we get done stamping the wreaths, we're going to go ahead and die cut that out. This is just the outline. And then also we're going to be using the bow for the die cut. We're going to start with scoring and cutting the box. Okay, so I have a 9x6 piece of cardstock. This is garden green. And on the long side, we're going to go ahead and make 4 score marks. So our first one is at 1 inch, 4 inches, 5 inches, and then 8 inches. And then we'll go ahead and turn. And along the 6-inch side, we're going to score again at 1 inch, 4 inches, and then 5 inches. Okay, so now that we have all of our score marks, we're going to go ahead and grab our scissors and start cutting into the box form. All right, so we are going to start on the bottom part of the box, and then we'll work on the top part. And the top part has the 2 double lines. You might be able to see that in the camera here. Okay, so starting on the bottom, I like to cut on a slight angle because it cuts away some of the bulk when you fold up the box. All right, so this particular square we are not going to be needing. So I'm going to turn. We're going to cut on that score mark and cut this piece off. Okay, so moving across the bottom, we're going to keep this flap again on an angle and notch that out. Continuing across the bottom on an angle and notch that out. And we're going to do one more here. And then give this end piece a little bit of a notch. Okay, so now we're going to work on the top. Okay, what you're going to need to do is cut all the way past that first score mark to the second score mark, and then make your little wedge, and then we're going to cut off this one flap here and then create that wedge. I like to have to turn it so I'm right-handed, it's just easier for me. Okay, so are you with me? We are right here. This is the top portion of the box. Okay, so we're going to go to the next score marks, past the first to all the way to the second. Make your little wedge. Again, the next score mark over, all the way down. Create that wedge. Okay, fold this back because now we're going to take away this piece. Okay, so now your box should look like this. Okay, we're going to continue to the next score mark. Go down all the way to the next score mark, 1 and 2, and then we are going to take out this whole piece right here. All right, and then we are also taking out these 2 pieces. So just go ahead and you could use your cutting board too, but I just have my longer scissors so we can cut it out. Okay, so there you have it. This is your box. One of the things that I'd like to do at this point is round the corners here. You could see on my box here, this is the top. The front end has a rounded corners, and I think it just looks neater, and it also makes it easier to close the box. So grab any kind of a corner round and do that now. Okay, now that I've rounded the corners, I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder and crease along all the score marks. We can work on our stamping. Okay, our box is ready to be decorated. So I'll go ahead and glue down the 2 layering pieces onto my card box, and then we'll go ahead and stamp and then die cut. Wreath. Bringing in my garden green ink. Using the background, you're going to ink up your stamp. Okay, and then stamp off onto a scrap piece of paper. And then now onto your basic white. And this just gives a lighter image. So then when I do the next step, so the next is the vines, and you'll go ahead and stamp this full strength. And you could see how pretty that image is. All right, so now I'm going to use the outline die cut out the wreath and the bow, and then we'll start assembling. Okay, we have a few more things to finish up. We have to stamp the Merry Christmas and then also the berries around the wreath. So I'll go ahead and stamp the berries first. Let's see, I think I'll put the bow at the top this time. Okay, and then our Merry Christmas. Okay, now what I did with this, I just centered my wreath where I wanted to place it. And I do want to keep that opening going horizontal because that's the way my greeting is also. So just eyeball that in the center. Okay, and before we start gluing everything onto this box, I did create a notch using my circle punch, and it just makes it easier again to open up the top flap. Okay, so you can also use a die cut circle, a small circle, but I'm just using one of my old punches. Okay, and so there's the notch. We'll go ahead and add the wreath and the bow, then we'll glue the box together. So the wreath I just have mounted up with dimensionals. centering that over your greeting. And the bow, I'll be using my mini glue dots. Okay, and then we can add one of the basic jewel rhinestones to the center of the bow. Again, these have a self-adhesive backing. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue the box together. So the first flap here, the box is going to fold onto itself very easily. So that'll be the first part of gluing. I'm just using my multi-purpose glue, liquid glue. You can use tear and tape on this, your double-sided tape. So go ahead and cover, making sure everything's lined up. You could burnish that with your bone folder. Okay, so add a little bit of glue to the flaps. And then the top, front flap. Okay, and then just square that up, hold it for a few seconds. And then I'll just put my bone folder down in the center there. Press it down. And then go ahead and close it. And there you have it. Now the last thing I did was I added some silver cord to the top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Grab a fairly long enough string. I actually did a double bow on that. So I'm just going to eyeball this and get a long enough cord. I took the two cords and I knotted them down to the middle the best you can. As you can see, this really wants to curl, making sure that both ends are fairly even. Okay, and then I added another glue dot to this where the knot, then I added a glue dot to the knot, placed it onto my box, and then I turned it over to tie. It just made things a lot easier for me, having a third hand or finger in there. So just on the inside lid, press that down. Okay, and then go ahead and tie into a bow on the top, trim your ends. Okay, once I was satisfied with the size of the bow, I just trimmed off the ends of the cord. So we've completed the fourth project in my holiday series of 6. I have 2 more to go, so be sure that you check back soon. Thanks again for watching today. Have a good day.